Hello, it's Nancy Juetten, and today is Monday, July 12th. Welcome to another amazing week of the Learn More, Earn More show, where I share tidbits of juicy stories and inspiration and information and practical how-to strategies so that you can learn more and earn more and smile all the way to the bank. Just yesterday, I posted in the Facebook group, what topics do you want me to talk about that will allow you to learn more and earn more? And one of my listeners, one of my treasured members, posted in a question. And he said, I know podcast guesting is a long-term strategy for lead generation and client acquisition, but what do I do in the meantime? What do I do in the meantime to make money now? What a brilliant question. Is this a question that you've been asking yourself too? And is it a question for which you would like the answer or some inspiration to consider what might be possible for you if you were to just take some action? If you're watching me live, go ahead and post a comment in the chat and say hello and let me know that you're here watching, and let me know if this is something you are excited to hear about. I see Paulette is here, and I think someone else is here, and hopefully other people will join. Go ahead and post comments. I'd love to hear from you. But I wanted to start this conversation with a bit of a kind of a story that I think might resonate with those of you who have this same problem. You know, in my own experience, and for whatever misguided reason, when I started my business, I started with $10 tips booklets and $47 workbooks and $197 workshops and things that were at the very low end of the pricing scheme. And I think what I was doing was trying to prove to myself that I knew the academics of how to do these kinds of things, and I was going to prove it with low-end offers. But here's the thing that I learned, and I wish I had learned this a whole lot faster, is that you have to touch and transform a whole lot of lives in order to make a decent living with a $10 item or a $47 item or a $200 item. It's really not that easy to make a thriving business selling products at this price point. If you have a membership program that has very few members, it's really hard to make the bills if there's not enough math to do, not enough critical mass to make the math work out. We all have to start somewhere. And starting at the low end would not be my best recommendation. If making money now is a priority, the question I want you to consider is, what is the most powerful solution that you can bring to market to serve your ideal client that has a sufficient price point attached to it that it will meet your needs, and that it also has enough value and systems and impact that it will solve the problem of the person that you're here to serve? If you have, I'm just going to pull from air, a $5,000 program and you sell it to 20 people, what do you know? You've got a $100,000 revenue stream. If you have a $10,000 program and you sell it to 10 people, then you have $100,000 there. If you're playing at the low end of the pricing scheme, can you set that aside for a moment and ask yourself, what can I offer and bring to market that would be so magnificent and so of service to my ideal client that I could actually write out what it would look like in specific, terrific detail, and think to myself, if I had that problem, I would pay twice the price to get that solution. Because when you can own the value that you're going to bring, and you know that you've created something amazing and magnificent and of service that's going to bring about a result, there is nothing to stop you from suggesting it to other people so that they can benefit from it. But if you don't have an idea of what this thing is and what the client is going to get and what outcome is going to result for them and why now is the time and there's urgency to take action today, then you end up sort of circling the drain, because you can't get people to say yes to whatever it is that you have because it's fuzzy and muddy and murky instead of clear, concise, and compelling. So if this resonates for you, put a yes in the chat and say, yeah, I suffer from that. People aren't buying it. I don't understand it. I haven't gotten clarity around what it is that I'm doing. And so that's why I don't have any high-end clients. So I want to tell you a story from my own experience. You probably know that I've been in business for 20 years and done pretty well for myself. And even though I started out at the low end, I found my way to higher end products and programs, and I've made a very good living for myself, and I have an excellent reputation. And I'm very proud of what it is that I've created, because most of the products, programs, and services I've created along the line are still of lasting, enduring value. People say, I got your Media Savvy to Go workbook that I bought 10 years ago, and it's as relevant today as it was then. I really care about quality. I don't do flash in the pan, pull it out of a hat and see how it flies, throw the spaghetti against the wall kind of stuff. I create systems and processes and things around what it is that I'm teaching, so that people can have confidence that if they take the yellow brick road to Oz, they're actually going to land there. Do you have a system that guides people along the golden road to create the golden moments that they can measure in their bank account? Be specific about the path you take people down and how they can accomplish that. So be that as it may, years ago, I had these low-end offers. I want to back up. I was doing done-for-you publicity work for big name clients. And what was happening for me is that I would get all these done-for-you publicity clients, but it wasn't scalable. If I was doing work for Seattle Chocolate Company, I couldn't duplicate or leverage or repurpose any of the work I was doing for that client with the work I was doing for Olympic Hot Tub Company or the work I was doing for the community bank. It was custom work all day long. And at some point, it got to be too much custom work. And I brought on staff, and I had to manage staff, and then I had to manage results. And all of a sudden, I'm pulling my hair out because I can't expand my heart or my head to accept any more new information. I was stuck. I couldn't grow anymore. And I had this deep desire. I really would like to touch and transform more lives, but I can't make it happen when I have all these clients to manage and no free time to even call to breathe in and breathe out. I was really frustrated. I didn't know what to do. Does this resonate with anybody who's watching? Have you ever, faced a wall and said, gosh, I know I'm making all this money doing this thing, but maybe this thing that you do isn't the thing that you want to do anymore? And then what do? So you complain, you get frustrated, you lament that you don't have the life that you want. And then there comes this point where you have to say, well, what do I do instead? How can I build a bridge to doing something else instead of this thing? This is a never-ending flow of more of the same, and I want something better. And I know there's something more that I can do and have and be if I could just find some space to create it. So I thought to myself, what if I just have a couple of done-for-you clients, and then I allow myself some luxury in my schedule to actually do the deep thinking about what it is that I was going to offer to people and what kind of a transformation I was going to provide for them and how the investment they would make would be so worth it. And I thought, okay, that's progress, because sometimes you have to have your legs in two different buckets in order to make the leap. And then you get comfortable and you think, oh, I could do this indefinitely. I can have one leg over here and I can have one leg over there. And pretty soon you're doing the splits and you're thinking, I can't do this anymore. I came to that point a number of years ago, and I'm sitting in a small conference room with my business coach, small VIP day that we're doing. And he says, what do you really want? And I said, I want to create a high-end offer that people would gladly buy and get the transformation so that I could work in this particular way with these amazing people and work a system that I know really works instead of having to reinvent the wheel from ground zero every single time. And he says to me, well, what do you need to give up to get that? I said, I need to give up my done-for-you clients. And he says, and what will happen when you give up your done-for-you clients? Well, I'm going to be scared to death because those clients represent recurring revenue for me in exchange for the great value I'm providing. And I'm not going to be doing that anymore. So I'm going to have to really jump in and put all my effort into this other thing. And he says, well, have you reached that now or never place where doing more of the same isn't tolerable for you anymore? Have you reached that now or never place where doing more of the same isn't tolerable for you anymore? And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, it was so yesterday that I reached that point. So this is what he had me do. We were in the small conference room, and there was a small powder room attached to the conference room. And he went into the room and he brought out the roll of toilet paper and he gave me a Sharpie. And he says, write down your declaration right now about what you're going to do. So I picked up the pen and I got this toilet paper in front of me and I said, the done for you publicist has left the building. And I sat back and I looked at what I'd written and I just felt my heart open. I just thought, wow, finally, I declared what I wanted and I didn't want to do that anymore. So the coach says to me, let's go to the bathroom. So we go to the bathroom and he says, take that message that you wrote on that toilet paper, roll it up into a ball, throw it into the basin and hit the flush. And we watched it swirl the drain and that was it. It was this powerful exercise where I finally had to declare I wasn't going to do that anymore. And that meant I had to double down on the thing that I really did want to do. And at that time, it was a private mentoring program that I wanted to bring to market to serve clients in a one-on-one way. And he said, how is your program going to be different than every other coach that's out there? And I gave a lot of thought to that. And having been at that certain point in my life where I had invested in a lot of products, programs, and services with other people at significant investment, I knew what I liked about some of these programs, and I knew what I did not like about some of these programs. So I made what I called the cake versus cringe list. What I loved about the programs was the personal attention, being seen, heard, and helped in a world-class way by someone who had my back. I loved that I didn't have to wait in line for 2 hours to get my questions answered or wade through the challenges that other people were vocalizing. I just wanted to be all about me. I just wrote all these things down about what I loved about certain programs. And then off to the right, I wrote down the things that I did not love. And in fact, it was the things that I hated beyond words about these certain kinds of programs. And I don't need to get into detail with you because you've probably got your own experience. But here's the big aha that I came to. I decided to become the antidote to everything I hated about these kinds of programs so that it would be like a answer to a prayer to a client who resonated with me and my style of teaching, who wanted that kind of attention, and who knew that there was going to be someone having her back. When I wrote out what this program was going to be, and I read it to myself, my initial reaction was, if I had been presented with this program 5 years ago, not only would I have bought it, but I would have paid 10 times the price to get that kind of support. And I thought, there's my V8 moment. I wish I would have had a V8. Why couldn't I have created that 5 years ago? Well, we can't cry in the beer for the drink we didn't have 5 years ago, but we can get the religion right now. So my invitation to you is, what kind of a product, program, or service at the premium price point can you create where you become the antidote to everything about your solution that everybody wishes was different? And be that. Be that. And then write down, this is what you will get. This is what you won't get. And if this is a perfect match, we should have a conversation, because those are the kind of people that I can best help. And that's the manner of teaching and delivery that I am best at. And if that's an answer to a prayer, there's no reason that we shouldn't have a conversation. Well, did I do a big launch around it? No. Did I do a big, huge webinar around it? No. I asked a colleague to interview me. I shared the journey that I traveled. And in the last 5 minutes, I said, if what you've heard today resonates and you feel like we should talk more and that this could be the answer, I look forward to hearing from you. Here's how you can reach me. That was it. And 10 amazing clients came forth and paid 4 figures each to be part of this private mentoring program. And I'll tell you something, I'm still very good friends with most of those clients still today. It was the product that was the program, it was the approach, it was everything that I was there to do at that particular moment, at that tuition, that was allowing me to make money now while I was going to be building out my group program. And that's what I did. I can only speak to my own experience and what I did to escape the shackles of whatever was holding me back to create something that I could be excited about and be waking up on the sunny side of the bed every day to welcome the kind of clients and experiences that I wanted to be having and the kind of transformation I wanted to affect. So what I'm hoping that by sharing this story with you, that it can inspire you. Yes, podcast guesting is a long distance run. Yes, you will get leads, clients, and cash as you work that strategy. But if you need to create a revenue rush right now in order to meet your obligations, in order to fund the next stage of whatever it is that you're doing, what product, program, and service can you bring to the market right now? What is the big win the client will welcome as a result? What is the path that you are going to define and guide your clients to navigate such that they can have the brilliant outcome with your guidance? And can you assign a fair market value to that program such that you can make money right now? 10 clients at $10,000 is $100,000. 5 clients at, you do the math. How much do you need and how quickly can you get it? Because it's within your control to go and get. And I would invite you to consider that. It is the fastest path to the cash. So in summary, do you start with a book or a $10 information product or a low-end offer that is going to be toil and trouble and time to sell? Or do you start with something higher end that you have the juice and the charisma and the wow factor to deliver? Given the choice, going to the high-end offer is going to give you the fastest path to the cash, and I hope that you will create that. If you are not the kind of person that wants to create a product, program, or service, maybe you need to keynote about that for associations and organizations at $5,000 a pop. If you do 10 keynotes at $5,000, that's $50,000. That buys a lot of groceries. Open up your imagination to see what kind of an expert you are and whether or not there's an eager audience waiting to hear from you. Yes, you can speak up for free on podcasts and drive leads to your product, program, service, lead magnet, Facebook group, whatever the case may be. But if you need to be making money now, sell yourself as a paid speaker who's worthy of big fees and demonstrate that you've got the goods to command the attention and the big bucks. So I'm just going to turn to the right to see if anybody's got comments. I see Tara's here. I see we're tagging a few people. Christopher Klesch says, always valuable content. And if you start from ground zero plus good reputation but not widely known, if you start from a ground zero plus good reputation but not widely known, then build one-on-one. Build your one-on-one client base. If one client paid you $10,000 tomorrow, would that ease your pain? Yes or no? What will the client get in exchange for $10,000? Write down the features and write down the benefits. There's content, coaching, and community. But what kind of content? What kind of coaching? What kind of community? What are they going to learn? What are they going to get to have, be, or do as a direct result of crossing paths with you that's going to accelerate their path to the outcome that they desire? Features, benefits, wow factor. I hope this is helpful. If you have comments, I'm all ears to hear them. And if you are curious about how I languaged my private mentoring program, I'm going to share with you the link to it so you can look it over. And it's scrolling along the bottom of the screen. GetKnownGetPaid.com/private-mentoring-program. You will read this and you'll say, oh, I see what she did there. Here was the cake. Here was the cringe. Here's how this program is different. If you feel called that this is the thing that will be answer to a prayer, reach out. We'll have a conversation. If you love this approach, you can mirror this approach for a page of your own. If you find that as you read this, you think to yourself, why am I not working with Nancy? Maybe this private mentoring program is exactly what I need. Then reach out to me and we'll see if it's a fit. Because if we're going to work together for 6 deep dive months, we want to make sure it's a fit. Now, I come on live every Monday, just about, and I deliver value and I make an impact and I serve to the best of my ability. And some people belly up to the free bar and that's all they need. But if you're really serious about going downtown and you know that I'm your gal, let's get on the phone and see if we're a match. Because whether it's the private mentoring program or some other program that's behind the scenes that you don't know about, if you're ready to get some support, I would love to provide that support for you. And I guess that is all that I wanted to say for today. I want to keep it super short, but I hope that if you've been looking for the fastest path to the cash, that you, as a result of watching today's video, that you got some value about how you can look at your own business differently so that you can accelerate your path to the cash and do more of the work that you love and have the courage to make the leap from doing that thing that's stealing your time to doing 100% of your time doing that thing where you are in your wheelhouse every day. I will tell you that leading the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp is by far my very favorite way to serve. I put all of my emphasis on serving those clients in a world-class way so that they get the results that they came for and more. I'm like a pig in mud leading that program. The next session is officially going to start in September, but if you feel that you want to jump in early and catch up with all the folks that are already enrolled, we can certainly make that happen. The investment is dramatically less than the private mentoring program, and it's a small group program where there's plenty of personal attention. And I know a number of people who are watching today are members of that program and are getting the extraordinary value. And someone's typing in, yes, one client paying $10,000 would change my life. That would be awesome. Love your speak. Oh, good. Thanks, Paulette. Well, I'm so glad you enjoy and show up and get the value. If I'm your person, you probably know it. And if I'm not your person, you're probably running in the opposite direction, which brings me to one other thing I would say. There are a lot of experts that teach similar material. I watch my competitors and I notice what's special, different, and preferred about what they do, and how do I set myself apart. Some of the people are very, very successful, and I respect their success tremendously. But as I see them showing up on social media and during their own live events, I just have this gut feeling that they're not my person. And that's okay. I still find value in what they share. If you are shopping for experts, make sure the person you're listening to is your person. You feel the vibe, it feels aligned. You're not going to go kicking and screaming in a direction that leads you the wrong way. I have done that in the past, invested into programs where the curriculum looked great, but I had a second thought about who was leading it. If you're not a head, gut, and heart triple yes, then it's a no. Because your hard-earned money needs to pay off for you. And if you have any doubt at all about any expert you're thinking about investing into, run in the opposite direction. Doubt does not have a place in your future vision about what you're trying to create in your business. So either it's a head, heart, and gut triple yes, or it's a no. And that advice will serve you no matter what you're buying, whether it's new hardwood flooring for your kitchen, a new puppy to add to your family, a new coach that you're going to add to your business, whatever it is. If there's not a triple win in the head, heart, and gut, it's a no. But if it's a yes, you probably know that too. So tune into that extra special intuitive power that you have to make sure that whatever investment you make in your success, you're all in it hello, you know it's the right choice, and you're ready to roll up your sleeves and do the work. Because when you roll up your sleeves and do the work, you know what? You roll up your sleeves and do the work, and the results most definitely follow. That's what Jack Canfield said in the Success Principles. If you work the principles work. So whoever it is that your teacher is, whoever it is that your client is, just make sure that you're all in at hello and go all the way like it really counts, because it really does. So that is my show for today. I'm so glad you tuned in. If you have a comment, please post it. If you have something to add, please share it. And if you know of other people who would benefit from the Learn More, Earn More show, which is part of the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, post a comment if you feel so inspired, and invite others to join us, because we really aim to guide you to learn more, earn more, raise your voice, make your impact, and make money every step of the way. And let's start doing it right now. So that's all I've got for you for today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.